I must say that when a spouse cheats, it can cause significant emotional pain and damage to the relationship. My soul still trembles. My soul still trembles whenever I think about how my wife ditched me. Like I had not ever expected this thing to happen to me. Well, meet me, this is John Loves Today. I'm going to share with you guys an unexpected event of my life that will definitely give you goosebumps. But before getting into the video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more interesting and factual couple stories. I got married to Diana last year. I met her for the very first time at the birthday party of our mutual friends where she proposed to me. Well, after being in a relationship for about 2 months, I got married to her. To be honest, the initial days of our married life was good. I must say that Diana was clumsy and stubborn from the very starting, but I had never thought that she could be a gold digger as well. There were 3 people in our house. Me, my wife, my teenager brother and my elder brother and his wife. We all were living a peaceful life. Things were smooth and good in the beginning. Like I remember how my Vicky used to take care of us all. But unfortunately, my elder brother's wife died due to a major accident. One day I noticed something really perplexing. Like I remember it was about 2 a.m. of the night. I was just sleeping peacefully when my phone began to ring. When I attended the call, I was shocked to hear the person on the phone call was claiming that he had seen my wife on a couple hotel with a sugar daddy. When I asked that person about his name or identity, he did not tell me anything. I obviously got too attentive and then I made my wife wake up when she woke up. I asked my wife about that thing. The person on the phone call was saying about my wife. I remember as soon as she heard about the sugar daddy from me, she became extremely confused. She became so confused that literally she was not able to drink the water properly, but she hardly took out when I asked her the question. She manipulated and then said I don't trust any outsider talking about her. She further said that she often go with her boss who is old might be. Someone saw her with him in a meeting and decided to tease her. Obviously, Diana was my wife. So I did not take anything on my nerves. And slept the morning when I woke up. I remember my wife was holding my mobile phone. She seemed extremely occupied that time. It was all clear that she was searching something in my mobile phone. Maybe the number of that person who talked about my wife last night. I angrily asked her to give my mobile phone back when she found me awakened. She became like a fish out of water and then said me without my asking that she was just taking a selfie from my mobile phone. My wife's activities were getting strange day by day, like she started spending the rest of her time with outside. I often saw my wife taking inappropriate pictures on her mobile phone. After about 7 days, I got another phone call from another number with the same voice. I was damn sure that the person in the phone call was a teenager who was trying to create an adult voice to talk to me. Well, that person was saying again that he said he seen my wife in a car where she was physically active with him. After hearing him, I became extremely furious and began to abuse that person on the phone. My wife also became afraid and began to give me many explanations that the person who was saying these words about her must be from her office, who is jealous of her. I remember when I decided to discuss this matter with the police, my wife became even more confused. She began to sweat badly. She then said that I must not take anything serious and asked me to change my number. But the next morning, an unexpected event happened. I was shocked to see my phone completely broken. I really did not understand how my phone broke. I am damn sure that my wife was the one who had broken up my mobile phone in order to hide the fact used to trust her a lot that I had not ever gotten on my nerves. After about 1 month, it was my younger brother's important guidance meeting in his college. Well, I went to his college to talk to his teachers. After getting from that place, I decided to meet my wife as well as my wife's office was really close to my brother's college. I remember when I entered my wife's office, everyone was looking at me as if they were judging me. When I asked the receptionist about my wife's room, she gave me a sarcastic, strange smile. Well, when I was on the way to my wife's cabin, I was shocked to see my wife going to the boss's office wearing a short and hot dress. I kept following her silently and steadily. I was shocked to see her kissing her boss. He began to wear off her clothes and furiously appeared in front of them and began to curl. I remember my wife began to give me an explanation and apologize to Lord. I decided to divorce her because obviously there was no sense of living with her. But then my wife came home after about 1 week, she cried a Lord and asked for her forgiveness. She then showed me some reports that claimed that she was carrying my baby in her womb. I was extremely upset and disappointed with her, like how she cheated me with her sugar daddy. But after a load of apology, I decided to give her a first and last chance. She also promised me that she would not do any physical work. From now on, I remember my younger brother was not in favor of my wife's presence in our house, but I did not consider his words. One day, I noticed something really unexpected. I remember it was bad for him. I was sleeping peacefully. Meanwhile, I got my eyes opened in order to quench my thirst. I found my wife nowhere in the bedroom while I did not take anything on my nerves and slept again. I woke up again at about 5 a.m. and was shocked to see my wife not in the bed till now. I woke up and then went outside of the bedroom. I was shocked to see my wife coming from my younger brother's room. She seemed really furious and angry. It seemed like she had a quarrel with my younger brother. When she found me awake, she began to give me an explanation that she was actually borrowing a charger from my brother's room because according to her, she had to write content and submit till tomorrow. But she got her mobile phone out of battery. I did not say anything to her. What happened that time? Like the way she was coming from, my brother's room was continuously popping up in my mind. I started suspecting my younger brother because one day I was shocked to see my wife and my younger brother. I remember I went out of the station for a business meeting. After about 1 week when I reached the house from out of the station without informing anyone else in the house, I was shocked to see my wife naked in my younger brother's presence. I remember my wife was wearing hot lingerie. She was obviously not expecting me in the house. I remember when she found me awake, she became extremely confused. She was literally like a fish out of water. At that time, she then began to give me an explanation that she was actually wearing this alluring ring in order to welcome me. When I asked her how she knew about my arrival, she manipulated and then said in a fake romantic version that she knew because I belonged to her heart, blah, blah. My wife's activities became even more strange and thought-provoking. Like once I was shocked to see one day, I was very high. When I moved towards my wife, she slightly pushed me back like if she was not interested or was full. But I was shocked to see fresh wounds like a love bite on my wife's neck. But she was trying to hide when I asked her about the wounds. My wife replied that she got an ordinary seasonal infection that was not an infection at all. I'm then sure that it was love bite. Things were getting complicated. Day by day, one day, I was literally shocked to see my wife ling grease in my elder brother's cupboard when one day I had to go to the annual dinner of my office. But unfortunately, I got my clothes burned, which I was going to wear in the dinner. I did not have any other good dresses. So I decided to borrow them from my elder brother. I then went to my elder brother's room, but he was in the washroom. That time I opened his wardrobe and started looking for a good dress in my brother's cupboard. Meanwhile, I caught sight of my vice ling ri. I was literally shocked to see my vice ling ri. I got up, took that lingerie and then went to my bedroom. My wife was preparing herself in front of mirror when I showed her lingerie and asked her what her ling was doing inside my brother's cupboard. After seeing the lingerie in my hands, I remember my wife became so confused in August. She looked down and then said, "How would I know about it?" I yelled at her furiously and then told her to keep her private stuff in her own cupboard. The same night I was sleeping peacefully. Meanwhile, I got my eyes open because I had a severe headache. I stood up to take medicine when I realized that my wife was not in the bed. That time, I got very serious. I was damn sure that she was in my younger brother's room because I had seen her many times rooming outside of my brother's room. I went to my younger brother's room and began to knock on his door. I kept knocking for about 5 minutes. Finally, my brother opened the door. I remember he seemed so sleepy. He then asked me the reason for my arrival in his room. At this dark hour of night, I did not say anything to him and went to my room. When I reached the room, I was shocked to see my wife sleeping in the bed. Like before moving outside of the bedroom. I had even checked out the washroom, but my wife was not in the washroom. I did not understand how suddenly she reached the room. I remember I kept thinking about what happened just now. I was not able to even sleep that night. Like, what was the actual matter? Things were literally beyond my understanding because one day, I literally shocked to see my elder brother messaging my wife's stomach when they found me in the room instead of creating any panic. I remember how my wife handled the situation by saying that she was having a pain in her stomach. So I took help from my brother. I did not understand what was going on. In spite of having a load of red flags, I always used to ignore everything due to my hard and busy routine. But then one day something happened. That was the turning point of my life. I remember it was a Saturday's night. My wife seemed very happy and excited. That day, she was cooking my favorite spicy pasta. But that time I got severe pain in my stomach. So the doctor suggested that I stay away from the spices. I remember when my wife presented me with the pasta, I kissed her on the forehead with a gesture of gratitude and told that I was having an issue in my stomach. After listening to my words, she became extremely angry and started insisting me I took just one small bite. When my stomach started creating even more issue, immediately, my younger brother peered in front of me and fell down that pasta plate. I obviously got fierce on him and then shocked to see police coming. My younger brother showed me the video where my wife was adding poison along with my elder brother in the plate. My feet froze, like literally tears trickled down my cheeks. My wife then confessed that she was in a relationship with my elder brother. I came to know that my elder brother was actually my stepbrother and all property belonged to me and my younger brother. She further confessed that she tried her best to fix my younger brother, but all in vain. My brother then told that he was one who knew about my wife's cheating since beginning because he was actually that person who used to call me and used to aware me of my wife's relationship with her boss. After being admitted to the hospital for 3 days, I divorced her tomorrow. We're all going to represent in court. I had never thought that she was even ready to kill me. I did everything for her, but according to her, I did not give her proper